Welcome to Deep Thought. While spirit may allow you to be on the dark side. Now, let's be real. There's some people out here going through some stuff, and let's just say they ain't on the side of what is generally considered good. And they might be otherwise intelligent or something. But I thought about something the other day. It was in a book. It was a series called the Vampire Huntress series by a dear ancestor, a big sister to me, L.A. Banks. And I miss her. I loved her to death. She was truly a big sister to me. And she, the theme of the story, it was a vampire slayer. Her name was Damali, a sister. Like, it was a very urban series. And her, the guy that she fell in love with had been a vampire. He actually started out just as a regular drug dealer. And incidentally, in that series, L.A. Banks used a lot of real life stuff as allegories for vampires and stuff. But I mean, yeah, they actually had vampires. So he started out as a drug dealer, got turned into a vampire, but then became a slayer himself. He switched over into the light, into the good. His name was Carlos, and probably my favorite character in there. A lot of people could relate to him. It was a great series. A lot of people read it. They could really relate to the characters, and I like honoring her sometimes when. When I think about it, because, unfortunately, she left us too soon. But anyway, this character, Carlos, like I said, he had been a drug dealer, definitely on the side of bad, but like a righteous drug dealer. He was an interesting cat, because, he was a drug dealer, but then he would make sure, like, anybody who needed money in his neighborhood would get it, and he would keep people from getting kicked out and everything. And then he became a vampire, but he wasn't a bad vampire. And then when he got into the light, now it was interesting. He encountered a mystical character, and he was like, well, if I was supposed to be this good character, this good person, and on the side of the light, why did y'all allow me to go into the dark? And the mystical character said, well, we can't really see this. We needed somebody undercover. And, I was like, oh, okay. So they had to see on the other side. But then other characters, there, you had a bunch of supporting characters. One had been in prison. One was good at like stealing cars. Like you had a whole supporting crew. All of them had did something bad. It's kind of like that old saying, powerful saying. Every sinner has a future. Every saint has a past. And the thing was, they all redeemed themselves. Now, I thought about that because you might have some people going through some stuff now. And they'll say, why am I going through this? Why am I going through this? You might have a good soul. It's like a mentor said to me one time, if you're a diamond, you could throw that diamond into a box of glass, and the glass will get messed up, but not the diamond. And, one thing in life, I've met a lot of people who went through some hell. I've met people who've gone through hell. I got an old friend. We keep up with each other through Facebook, but she had gone through some hell. She had every reason to go Darkside. She had been in the darkness. And she's another one who kind of inspired me to say this. See, understand something. Whatever your spiritual path, even if you even have one, you might not have one. You might just call it the universe. There's a reason for everything. Nothing's random. Yes, everything might look bad for you, but think about something. You're learning something. You're seeing something. What if a person had a great life? Great life. They had everything handed to them. They could eat well. But some things happen, and then they have to go on the dark side just to survive, just to understand stuff. was like just popped in my head about the Dark Knight series of movies with Christian Bale. You know, Bruce Wayne, he had all this stuff, but then he was told, you know, in order to understand criminals, he had to like live like them. So there was a period he was going through, you know, he was a criminal. But he understood. He understood. And so you might, you know, somebody listening to this might be going through some stuff. Might seriously be going through some stuff. And you're like, why is this happening? Why is this going on? But maybe you're there to learn something. Maybe you're there to see. Maybe you're there to understand something, right? Because, you know, well, one thing, in some many esoteric traditions, it's felt that there's not good and bad anyway, or light and dark. It's all part of the whole, all part of the one. But, you know, it's still, maybe you're there to learn that, to understand that, maybe to bring light to it. It could be a lot of reasons. It could be for your own growth. You know, a lot of times I've met many of people, some of the best human beings I've met have been on the dark side. They've been killers. They've been, you know, drug dealers who might have hurt other people. They might have intentionally hurt other people in their life. They might have just been causing destruction, and they intentionally. But at the same time, they may be seeing something. You know, some of the best people who can reach out to people. Like, I'll give you an example. You got a lot of young men. And just to be clear, let's not make this a racial thing, of all races. Young men and women. They're out in the streets. They're going through something. But yet the person that can reach them is not the spiritual leader. And is not the, you know, law enforcement person. The person who can truly reach them and truly have an impact on them is the person that lived that life too. Who been through it, been through all that roughness. Then they can reach out and say, look, I've been through it. I've been through it as well. I can help you. I know what you're going through. And those are people that they respond to. You know? You see what's the problem. You see the darkness, the bad stuff, the stuff that I would consider darkness. Though I say it on larger esoteric traditions, they can consider the stuff in larger esoteric traditions, they can consider, you know, the stuff just normal. But let's be real, most people, if something is going against what society considers good, it's bad. And you might be on that side, but, you know, maybe your purpose is to see it and see, wait a minute, it's not that bad. It's just a different way of being. It's a lot to it. It's a lot to it. But sometimes people might say, well, why is God letting me go through this? And it was like, you know what? Maybe it's to learn something. I want to stop this one at that, and I'll get into it more in the next episode.